Hello my keto peeps, it's Samaya and welcome back to my channel, I Don't Sugarcoat. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to make a keto macadamia nut cookie. So let's get started. Before we begin, today's video is sponsored by Wholesome Provisions. They're a company located here in the US and they specialize in making keto-friendly foods, two of which are now staples in my keto kitchen, and that is their Lupin Flour and their allulose sweetener blend. Go on their website today and check out their catalog of products. I'm certain there's something on there that everyone will love. From their pre-made options to their baked good needs, you will be able to find something that you'll be able to add to your keto kitchen. I will leave a link to their website in the description of this video. Now let's jump into today's recipe. First, we want to begin by adding all of our dry ingredients to this bowl and get them mixed together. I'm going to begin with 1 cup of Lupin Flour. To this, I'm going to be adding 1 cup of tiger nut flour. Now, I've never used this flour on my channel before, mostly because it's a bit higher in carbs. However, I wanted to give this a try. I've been using this a little bit lately in a few recipes. Normally when I make this cookie, I use cashew flour, but you can also use almond flour. So if you have 2 of those and you want to make this cookie, you can use those. The cashew flour and the tiger nut flour are about the same carb count wise. It's really give or take like a carb or less than a carb when it comes to the amount that we're putting into this recipe. So you're going to be coming out the same using cashew flour. Almond flour, you'll have less carbs if you use almond flour. So if you want to cut it down, then use almond flour. So I'm putting a cup of this tiger nut flour into the mix. Okay, to this, I'm going to be adding 2 tablespoons of some roughly chopped macadamia nut flour. In my little cup here, I have 1 teaspoon of some arrowroot. I have 2 teaspoons of some baking powder. I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda and half a teaspoon of some pink Himalayan salt. And now we just want to whisk this and get it all nice and mixed together. Okay, so to my bowl, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of some melted butter that has been slightly cooled. We don't want to add it too hot. So we're going to add that, and that is 1 stick and a half. To this, we want to add our sweeteners. In here, I have 3/4 of a cup of some Brown Swerve, and I'm just going to break this just a little bit. And then I have 3/4 of a cup of that allulose sweetener blend. Now I'm going to add in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then I have 1 whole egg and 1 egg yolk that has been sitting to room temperature, and we're going to add that. And that's the other reason why you want to make sure your butter isn't too hot, because we're adding in eggs. Now I'm going to put this back onto my stand mixer, and I'm going to let this whisk until it's nice and blended. All right, now our dough looks good and smells amazing. This dough is so perfect. It came out so beautiful. So I'm really happy with my choice to use the tiger nut flour. I love how this dough is looking. So I think this is going to make an amazing version of my macadamia nut cookie. Now what we want to do next is we want to go ahead and add in our white chocolate chips. I'm using Lily's, and in here I have 3/4 of a cup. I would suggest using no more than 1 cup, but I'll leave that up to you guys. Now, this is going to take the carb count up pretty good, because Lily's white chocolate chips are about, I think, 3 net carbs per serving. Now, there is another brand, Chalk Zero. They have a white chocolate chip, and I haven't been able to use those just yet, but I've read some good reviews about them. So if you want to cut down the carb count even more, try that brand, because I think their carb count is like 1 net carb per serving. So I'm going to be adding 3/4 of a cup into my cookie batter here. And then you're gonna wanna add 1 cup of some roughly chopped macadamia nuts. I'm actually a little low on that right now, so I've got about 3/4 of a cup here. But if you wanna lessen it some, you can totally do that. So I just roughly chop mine, and just in case you think that that's not a cup, it's not. So, but the recipe is written for 1 cup, and I will make sure that the nutritional values reflect that and not how much I'm putting in today. And now you just want to fold this in. All right, our dough is perfect. I've just folded them in just enough, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in a container here because we wanna let this rest in the refrigerator for about 2 hours at the least. Okay, after 2 hours, I'll come back. We'll get these on a cookie sheet and get them baked, and I'll show you guys what we have after that. My cookie dough is now ready to start baking. So I'm gonna go ahead and scoop these out with my little cookie scoop here. So I'm gonna get my cookie sheets here lined with my cookie dough here. And I should get somewhere between 28 to 30 cookies, give or take a couple. And you just wanna put it on there and just give it a little gentle press down like that. And then just keep on going until you fill these up. We're gonna bake these at 350 for somewhere between 10 to 12 minutes. So I'm gonna fill these up. I'll come back when they have come out of the oven and I'll show you what we've got. My cookies are out of the oven and I wish you guys could smell what is going on in my kitchen right now. These smell like legit macadamia nut cookies. So I'm gonna try one of these for you on camera, even though it is really late and outside of my eating window, but I'm gonna try it because I've never had it with a tiger nut flour. So I wanna see how well this combination goes together. And they are so soft. I will tell you this. Now, usually when I make these cookies, I make them like 12 to 13 of them. So I make them double the size. But I wanted to make these a little bit smaller this time around. But if you saw my pictures of them on Instagram or something, you can just use like ice cream scoop to get a much bigger size. And then you'll end up with like 12 or 13 cookies if you want them to be like the normal size of a cookie. So let me go ahead and try this for you guys. And this is really, look at that. Look how that breaks apart. It is such a soft cookie. Oh my gosh. This is absolutely fantastic. I mean, really, really good. I will say, I think the tiger nut flour is a little bit sweet on its own because these cookies taste a little bit sweeter than what they do when I use cashew flour. So I would probably, me personally, if I'm going to use tiger nut flour again, I'll dial back the sweetness just a little bit. So like the white sweetener, I'd probably take that down to about 1/4 of a cup to 1/3 of a cup. So I'm not sure if it's the flour. I think it's probably the flour because it doesn't seem to taste as sweet when I use the cashew flour. It's not necessarily overpowering sweet. Oh, that still doesn't sound like it's coming out right. It's not overtly sweet is what I'm trying to say. But if you're like me, I kind of like my things to be mildly sweet. So if you're like that, then dial back the white sweetness just a little bit. But if you want yours to be nice and sweet like a regular cookie, then leave it as is. Leave the sweetener as is. But this is absolutely fantastic. And that is going to be it for me today, you guys. I'm going to leave the rest of the nutritional facts for this recipe in the description of this video. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smash that like button. If you want to see me make more videos like this, Click that subscribe button and don't forget to ding that little bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. And until next time, you guys, bye.